So we're just gonna go ahead and get started because sometimes when we go over, we carry over into the next meeting and we have public speak out today. And so I just want to welcome you all to the City Council Finance Subcommittee. I want to thank my colleagues on the Finance Committee, Tim Allen, Councilor Allen, and Councilor Davila for joining us today. Also want to thank my colleague, Councilor Letterman and Councilor Curran for joining us, and everybody from the finance team. Thank you for joining us as well. So we're just going to get started. We're just going to go right down the agenda for the meeting, and we will start with the January revenue versus expenditure report.
Thank you, Councilor Whitfield. Tonight you have the January revenue versus expenditure report. Just going to point out a few highlights on the revenue side. The revenue at Serena is down 173,000. As we all know, it's been closed for a few months now. Inversely, the revenue at the two municipal golf courses compared to this time last year is up 219,000. So fortunately, the golf course revenue is making up for the lost revenue at the skating rink. Also, building permit revenue is down approximately 389,000 from this point last fiscal year. On the expenditure side, I just wanted to make the Finance Committee aware that the city made a $17.3 million payment to the pension system. We were making 1/12 payments. This actually represents the months of January, February, and March. And in March, we'll be making the final payment in the same amount for April, May, and June.
Pat, do you know what the total amount is this year? 17 and 1734. I thought we were around 50 million this year.
The total payment for all three member units is, I can get you the.
No, that's all right. Just our part, the city part, I think was 50 this year, or about 50.
Right. I can get you the exact amount.
Right, that's good.
Thank you, Councilor Allen. Councilor Davila. You're on mute, Councilor.
Here you go. Thank you, Madam Chair. Pat, the $17.3 million payment, that's reflective of the structured payment system that I believe we discussed last year, the year before that. There's going to be an increment in payment.
Yes, we're on a funding schedule that was approved by PARAC, and this payment reflects that funding schedule. The appropriation payment for 2022, not to get ahead of things, is going to be $85 million, and that includes the city and school, the Water and Sewer Commission, and the Springfield Housing Authority.
So is that the 85 for the city portion of it, or?
No, the city portion is approximately 75 million of that. I can give you the exact numbers. I can email those to you. I
think Lindsay's saying that it's 47,299,000. Is that correct, Lindsay?
That was the amount appropriated just for the city portion, not the school department, for FY21.
For FY20, okay. So, thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. So on the expenditure report, it looks like we're in excess of 21 million. Is that right, Pat?
Yes, that's really just, it's a reflection of the pattern of expenses. So, sorry. The school department expenses are going to catch up. We have teachers that are paid over 22 pay periods and some teachers that actually get paid in the summer. So you'll see those expenses ramp up as we get through the fiscal year.
Okay, and so when I look at the actual numbers, and this may be a question for Melanie, have we taken all the expenditures that we could and transferred them over to the grant yet, or is that something that's still being worked on? Transferred to the FEMA funds?
Those are actually being recorded in a separate fund.
Oh.
So they're not reflected in this report.
Okay.
But Melanie's been working to identify those funds and move them onto the grants as they become, she can confirm that they're eligible.
So they're not reported on here anywhere?
No, they're reported in a deficit fund, similar to what we did with the tornado and the October snowstorm. Unfortunately, we've gotten really good at this because we've had some experience in the past, and that's the way the Department of Revenue wants us to track those expenses.
Okay.
So
Alrighty,
they wouldn't show up on this report.
gotcha. Okay, any other questions from counselors? All right. Seeing none. Hi, Counselor Fenton. Thank you for joining the Finance Committee meeting. We'll move right along to the next item on the agenda, which is the Shannon Grant. I don't know that we need to speak about the Shannon Grant unless counselors have questions, because we had an extensive meeting about the Shannon Grant and what each of the partner organizations do in regards to the Shannon Grant and the police department. I thought they weren't going to be in attendance, but they were. And so we talked at length. I'm going to give a report out during the regular city council meeting, but if there's any questions regarding the Shannon Grant, then we can take those at this time, but we had so much conversation about it now. Yes, Counselor Allen.
Yeah, thanks, Madam Chair. Yeah, I kind of agree. That was quite an extensive meeting last week, and I thought there was great information. And I agree. I'm not sure we need to talk about it here unless people had a question about what it was. But basically, 10 organizations, or around 10 plus the police department, all talked about how they use the Shannon Grant money. And the meeting was about 2.5 hours, went to about 7:45. And we got excellent information. So I agree with you, unless somebody has specific questions, that we could probably just put that off till 7 o'clock.
I don't know what's happening with my camera and I think I'm hitting some buttons, but Sergeant Elliott will be at the 7 meeting. Perfect. Thank you, Lindsay. So we will move on from that one. It was a great meeting. 2.5 hours was long, but it was well worth it. The next item on the agenda is the FY21 state aid to the public library, no match, $374,526.
Okay, I could just give you a brief overview. That's funding from the Mass Board of Library Commissioners State Aid Program. And libraries, in order to be eligible, we have to fill out a annual statistical report and an annual financial compliance report. And we have to be in compliance with all the state standards, which we are. And it's the funding is allocated on a per capita basis with some other funding formulas. So normally this funding would be available in the fall because the state budget was done so late in the fiscal year due to all the problems this year. The Mass Board of Library Commissioners just voted on the state aid awards at their January meeting and February meeting, and we received half of the payment, and we'll receive the second payment in April. And the funding is used for public libraries, and you can use it for any purpose. It can be carried over. We use a lot of it for about $200,000 to offset the general fund for personal services. We use money for our substitute librarian program, some for programming and staff development. So It's, I don't know if you have any questions.
Maybe not for you, but what account does this funding sit in?
This is, has its own object code, so it's in Munis under 2838 is the number, the fund
So it
code.
doesn't go into the general fund, it goes into
No,
like,
no, it can't go by law, it can't go in the general fund. It's for the
Okay.
library to use, yeah.
okay.
It's listed as a grant on our end.
Oh, it's listed as a grant, okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Counselor Allen?
Thanks, Madam Chair. Yeah, Molly, is this your biggest grant that comes with kind of a lot of freedom as to how you spend the money?
Absolutely. Everything else is really restricted. Even our funding from the Library Foundation is restricted based on the wills of the donor and the trust and the endowments. But this is funding that's appropriated. It's on the state cherry sheet, and it's appropriated for public libraries to use for any purpose that they feel is will be beneficial to the library. So we work with city finance and do that. I mean, at some point it's something that could be carried over. So if we didn't use all the funds in one year, we could use it the following year.
Great. Okay, thank you.
Do you have any payroll that comes out of this grant?
Yeah, it's used to offset the payroll. So there aren't any positions that are tied to this grant, but we build into our budget for fiscal 21 a $200,000 offset. So now that we do that a little earlier, but now that we have the funding, we'll be able to start doing some budget transfers, whatever they're called. There's a name for it, reclassification.
Yeah.
Reclass, that's right.
Yeah.
So we'll be doing that so that we can balance out our budget for the fiscal year.
All righty, thank you very much. Any other questions from the council? All right, moving right along. There is a Mass Cultural Council grant and kind match required for $15,000.
And that's funding we receive from the Mass Cultural Council for operating expenses. And the match is basically to match the $15,000 in operating expenses from the library. And since our operating expenses are about $5 million, we have no problem meeting that match. And there's no requirement. You can spend it on programming, on books, on anything that supports your programming and services. So, and we're one of the only libraries. It mostly goes to cultural organizations, so we're very lucky to get it. We use it mostly for programming every year.
Thank you. How are programs going with COVID?
It's busy. We're doing a lot of virtual programs. So, and they're very popular. If you have a chance, go on our website, you'll see you can sign up for a lot of programs. We're doing music programs, book discussion groups, tons of stuff. So it's very busy.
Very good. And you have the outdoor libraries where you can still pick up books and
right. The curbside is very popular.
curbside pickup.
Yeah, that's really popular as well. So.
All righty. Thank you, Molly. Appreciate it. Then we have a Eohhs Youth Homelessness Grant increase of $10,000.
Yes. So this is a grant provided by the state. It extends the grant period through June 30th, 2021. It's an additional $10,000, bringing the total grant up to $616,000, and it is for homeless youth. And it provides funding for youth programs between the ages of 18 and 24 so is all of Hampton County.
Any questions from the council?
No question.
Okay, thank you. Cottage Street, Robinson Road, Industry Ave donation of $3,634.95.
Good evening, Counselor.
Good evening.
Item 6 and item 9 are tied together. Cottage, Robinson Industry Ave, excuse me, is going to be reconstructed. It's a Mass DOT project. It is getting ready to go out to bid probably in the next month and a half or so, possibly starting construction later this fall. The project was initiated due to the development of the PVTA facility on Robbins. So the land takings, title work, et cetera, was all paid for by the PVTA. So the PVTA has needed to donate an additional $3,600 to be able to cover the full cost of the $11,000 for the taking. So they're paying for all the services related to the land takings and the appraisals and the title work done on this project.
Oh, that's good. They have to come out of the city's budget.
Yep.
Yep, very good. Any questions there, counselors? Counselor Allen?
Thanks. Thanks, Tracy.
You're welcome.
Chris, what is the general goal of the project? Is it because of traffic there, or?
Yeah,
Is it-
when, I'm sorry, Counselor, when the PVTA moved their facility up there, basically all of their buses go in and out through that intersection. So
Yeah.
that was a very substandard intersection. So this is going to widen it a little bit, new traffic signals, et cetera. And we were able to, rather than have PVTA pay for the upgrade, we were able to work with Mass DOT and get Mass DOT to pay for it, but PVTA paid for all the design, all of the takings, et cetera.
Right.
And just to let everybody know, at the other end of Cottage Street at the Berkshire, and that construction is good. Actually, utility work is starting, I think, this week. And actual construction will be starting out there in the next 3 weeks on that project. So we, with that Bay and Berkshire and these two projects, there's going to be a lot going on in that area.
Yeah, for sure. All right,
I'm really
thanks.
glad you said that because that's the end that I was thinking. Even though
Yeah.
it said Robbins
Yeah, it's
Road,
the
I
other
was
end.
still thinking
The other
Berkshire. So thanks for clarifying that.
Yeah.
All right. Counselor Davila?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Chris,
Sure.
just to be sure, so this remainder of $3,000 and change is to cover the remaining cost of the design process,
Correct. The remaining costs of the land takings,
the land taking?
PTA donated, I think it was 20 grand back last year when the appraisals and the title work was done.
Right.
So there was money left over, and in order to match the 11,550 needed for the takings, we needed an additional $3,600 from them.
Excellent, great project. That's a busy area there, so.
Yes, it
Excellent.
is. Thank
I
you
will be steering clear of that area.
very much. Stay clear.
Any other questions? All right. Thank you. Chris, appreciate that.
No
Irene
problem.
E. and George Davis Foundation grant increase of $10,000.
This is for our Reading Success by Fourth Grade grant. It's a 3-year grant, $200,000 a year, and we're in the second year. This is additional funding to help support a citywide preschool provider conference. It's an all-day conference on March 19th. Originally, the plan was to have it at the Mass Mutual Center, but it will be a virtual program. And there are a lot of people signed up for it already, and there are a lot of excellent speakers, and the funding will be used to help pay for some of the speakers and other things that are related to the workshop.
Counselor Letterman?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to quickly say thank you to Molly and the program manager for Reading Success by Fourth Grade, Chrissy Howard. They recently held their leadership summit, which also had to transition virtually and was extremely well done. I had the chance to attend for a portion of it, and I expect that this event, which is also managed by them, will be similarly well done. Just a huge resource for not just Springfield, but the region. So I just wanted to express my appreciation.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
I missed it. Dang, Molly. I don't remember getting the email, but I could have. I get so many, but I'm glad it was a success, and I'm glad that Counselor Letterman could attend. He goes to so many things. Thank you, Counselor Letterman. Health and Human Services donation, $2,000.
You're on mute, Lindsay.
Sorry.
It's like, who's gonna see?
A donation to the Project Baby program in the amount of $2,000 from Mark Kerouac and Ann Irichetti. And Project Baby is committed to making Springfield a community where all are informed, engaged in everyday practices that lead to healthy babies, healthy mothers, and healthy families.
Is Project Baby under HHS?
Seems to be a program run through HHS, yes.
Oh, okay. Because I remember like a few years back hearing about Project Baby, but I didn't know it wasn't under HHS then. So maybe they took it out, or it could be a different one. I don't know. But that's good. Yeah, I love the babies. You know, so, that is great. And number 9, Chris Ignoli already explained, discussed. So I don't think that we have anything else on the agenda because we already spoke to order 9, the appropriation order for taking damages for intersection improvement project at Cottage Street, Robbins Road, Industry Ave, the 11555. And we know that the $3,000 amount goes into helping cover that, but Councilor Davila does have a question on it.
Thank you. No, actually, Madam Chair, my apologies. I didn't get to the hand on time. I have a quick question about Project Babies, if I could.
Oh, Project Babies. I'm sorry. I didn't
Yes,
hear.
yes. It did catch my attention. The first time that I hear about this project, and it sounds like a great thing. I believe you say that, or Lindsay said that it's run under HHS, correct? And who runs that program right now?
You know what, Councilor Davila? I'm not 100% sure. I would have to get additional information for you.
Right. No, the reason I ask is because so it happens that it appears that here the local library is doing a wonderful project of asking for donations of diapers for or babies in this area for Spark. Apparently, their mothers feeling the impact of the pandemic and don't have enough diapers. And I just thought, and I wonder if that's something that we could connect the mothers in this area with. So any information you may be able to send me that I can pass it along, deeply, really appreciate it.
Yeah, and we can also ask at the regular meeting. I'm sure someone from Health and Human Services will be there to speak to it, and so we can.
I don't know because it's only $2,000. I don't know
if maybe not.
HHS will be there.
But if not, we could always send an email, or you could get it if you want.
Yeah,
whichever way.
Yeah,
that's right. I mean, now I'm curious, so I'm going to find out the information. Pass it out.
Yeah,
send it to us all.
It sounds like it's a good thing. Sounds like a good project. I would love to learn more about it.
Yes,
as we know, this pandemic has hit the little ones the most.
Yeah.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
You're welcome. Any other questions from the council? All right, seeing none. Can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Would you like a motion to accept?
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, I can do
I
either.
would like that first, but I'm always ready to leave, I guess.
Okay. It seems like we were all in favor of this stuff, so I didn't hear any. So I make a motion to approve the items that are on the Finance Committee agenda.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you very much.
Now I make a motion.
Okay.
Now I make a motion to adjourn.
Adjourn.
Second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, I like these efficient meetings. Meeting is adjourned.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone.
Good
Thanks,
day, everybody.
everybody.
Well done,
Bye.
everybody. See you soon.
Well done. Thank you.